Love is a monster. When you were younger, the boogeyman was somebody that was under your bed and um, something that lived in the dark shadows of a corner of your room or in the basement because you never go down there and it just looks scary and it smells of mildew or any place of mystery that you just never seen that just looks scary. The darkness manipulates your mind into thinking that there's something moved, that you see something behind that door. It's a head, it's an arm, it's a claw coming around. Your imagination manipulates your mind in believing that this monster is real, and it terrifies you so much that your fear of this monster, your actions, it becomes your reality. It is real. Then it changes. You grow older and you start watching movies, and then the monster turns into Jason, Freddy Krueger, um, any other kind of monster that you see that could jump out of your closet any minute. When you're walking down the street, he might be there, and it changes over time. And then you get older and learn that these are actors on the screen. It's makeup, visual effects. You learn the reality of those monsters that you see, and that under your bed is dark because the light can't hit it and the lights are off and there's nothing under there but your dirty shoes or a ball that rolled under there, or it's just nothing to be afraid of. Love is a monster. It changes. And it changes as you see the reality of life. And at this time of the story, I was the monster was still in its infancy. It was still Jason and Freddy Krueger, and under that bed was a monster. It was a fictitious idea of what I thought love was. And I was innocent. I was innocent and naive to the thought of that I, regardless of the type of girl that I was, could have the dream of love, the romance, the bells and the whistles and the doves and all of that stuff that comes with love. All of that. Whatever yours may be different, but we all usually have the same idea in the beginning, especially if you're a girl, because that's what they feed us. That's what they, you know, sell to us. The white picket fence, the house, the dog, the two kids, all of that. And you have it. And being a trans child, being a trans teenager, you are not immune to that. I thought that I could just date a guy and it turned out beautiful. I thought that my first time having sex would be special and I would love him, and that's what I wanted, desperately wanted. And everybody that I knew, every woman, every man, everybody that I knew growing up used sex to get ahead. Sex for money, sex for survival, sex for love, sex to keep you, sex to hurt you. Sex was a tool. And I didn't realize it until I became an adult, but that's what it was. Sex was your connection to other people. It was what made this person so angry that they would stab you if you gave it to somebody else. It was powerful. It was a powerful thing. So coming up, that's how I grew to learn to get attention that was positive. And that's a common thing with young women in especially in urban communities, and fatherless or lack of role models or imperfect role models. That's kind of like the normal storyline. That's how you learn, and that's how you learn to interact with people. It's not right. It's not good. It's not moral, but it is the truth. And for me, the person getting bullied and called faggots, and the person who is my mother is constantly having to protect me and protect me from people's projection, and from people doing so many things as far as my self-esteem, and trying to just because I was gay, not trans yet, all this time, da 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 da, this time growing until I became trans, it just was, hiding the fact that you are this different thing, this gay thing, this whatever, this feminine entity that is not supposed to be feminine, that is not supposed to, whatever you are, you're not supposed to be it. So nobody is actually giving you the unconditional attention that a child or human being needs, the nurturing. At school, I'm constantly bullied and picked on and called fag. And why are you this? Why are you gay? At home, it's either the same thing from my uncles, or it's nobody just giving you that. Oh, I didn't have that. And my mother did, but because I was a feminine boy, people were getting in my mother's ear. She was a young mother, and she was, people were saying, oh, you need to stop letting that boy hang her, and he's going to grow up to be a fag. So she doesn't want that to happen. So she's constantly trying to toughen me up, give me boy things, do this boy stuff, instead of just giving me the unconditional love. And that it's always I'm trying to get you to be a man. I'm trying to get you to be a man. It's a constant thing. And instead of just being a mother. So with that environment, you want that type of interaction. You want that intimacy. You want that. So I would do little things. And it wasn't just, this is throughout my childhood. I would sit on grown men's lap and rub my booty on them to try to purposely to feel their peace. And I would see, and this is just based off things that I would see. They would give girls that they were dealing with attention, and I would want that attention. Even though I knew it was wrong, I still would try to push the envelope, walk in purposely on my uncle's using the bathroom. And this was at 6 and 7. And, this was a time where socially everybody thinks that that's a child. They don't know any better. But I absolutely knew better. And I knew what I was doing and why I was doing it at a very young age. Back to the monster of love. So that beast in me, whatever that was, that need for intimacy at that young of an age morphed into a more moral sense, a more moral need. So it was no longer me just sneaking and doing things to grown people. It was now I have a social life at school and I see the girls are having boyfriends and they're getting this type of attention and I want this type of attention. And the only way that I knew how to get that type of attention is through sex. And boys were experimental. They were ready. And so that was my way of connecting with them. They thought of me as a girl. They knew I wasn't a girl, but they interacted with me socially as a girl. If they weren't bullying me, they were intimate with me. Or both. They would bully me when they see me by myself. Try to have me. Now this is in elementary, junior high, high school. It just grew into that. So, of course, sex became the attention. It wasn't until I got to high school where the reality of love and intimacy and sex and the complication that it brings and all of that kind of stuff, it was the reality of you are not a girl. You are something else. You come from a path that's different from regular girls. And it's going to be like that forever. So you have a choice to either deal with it and learn how to maneuver with what you are, or constantly battle and be depressed about not having what you want. I learned in high school happiness is mental. It's something you create. It's something you choose. It's not something that is just so happen to be there. You choose it. You decide what you want. You go for it. You create your world through manipulation. And that becomes reality. That monster, that love becomes reality. That same uncontrollable imagination that made you scared of monsters, I learned that I could control it. And it started to interweave itself into the reality of the situation. So much so that what I imagined started to become real. Not just to me, because I was imagining these things and my interaction with the world, it would start to bring the reality more parallel with my imagination. You'll see what I'm talking about.